The worst people often seem to triumph, but life doesn't settle its debts in public view. It works in quiet corners. A Stoic doesn't chase revenge. They watch, while you heal in peace. Karma moves, and it never misses. You might think they've escaped lies, betrayal, manipulation. They walk away as if untouched, but something has shifted. Life now speaks to them in karma's silent language. Whispers, no one hears, but they feel daily. In this video, you'll uncover 5 subtle signs they're facing the consequences of how they treated you. Not in public, not in court, but in their private lives, their minds. In quiet moments when no one's watching. This isn't about vengeance. It's about truth. And truth speaks louder than any shout. It's the weight of silence. Nothing is heavier than pretending you're fine when you're not. Karma doesn't care for appearances. It works through emotions when no one's looking. The first sign karma is at play. They act like life's never been better. The one who vanished, betrayed your trust, or dragged you down, now shines, posting daily smiles. Carefree. And if you're not careful, you'll buy it. You'll scroll through their highlight reel and think, maybe they're truly happy without me. But here's the truth. No filter hides this. Real happiness doesn't need to prove itself. Fake happiness does. You've seen it before. They go quiet for days after the fallout. Then, suddenly, a burst of activity. Photos, stories, inspirational quotes, posed selfies, a campaign to seem radiant. One moment, they're destroying something real. The next, they're posting number healing with someone new, as if guilt never touched them. Look closer, the smile's too wide, the eyes distant. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best revenge is to not become like those who hurt you. That's why Stoics don't argue, don't retaliate, don't stalk stories for closure. They observe. True peace doesn't perform. It simply exists. The more they try to prove they've moved on, the less likely they have. Karma doesn't announce itself. It creeps in each night as they lie awake. Realizing who they've become is why they lost someone who cared. No post. No fake joy. No new partner can drown out a conscience that knows it broke something real. Let them smile for the camera. You know the truth. The hardest lie to maintain is pretending you're at peace. Karma doesn't always strike like lightning. Sometimes it's a slow erosion, a quiet loss of what they thought would never leave. The second sign karma is working silently. Life starts reclaiming what they took for granted. You expect karma to be loud car crashes, heartbreak, betrayal. But it's subtler, more precise. It doesn't shout, it subtracts. So quietly they don't notice at first. Small things slip away. A friend stops replying. A colleague loses trust. An opportunity passes without explanation. They shrug it off as life. Bad luck. Coincidence. Until the pattern repeats relentlessly. And finally, they see they're standing amid the ruins of what they mocked, dismissed, or ignored. Maybe they called you too emotional, said you cared too much, overreacted. When you were the only one responding with heart, you tried. You stayed up late, texting comfort when they were down. You forgave when they overlooked your worth. You believed in them when they didn't believe in themselves. And how did they repay you with scorn? They mocked you as clingy, needy, too soft for this world. They took your presence for granted, not a gift. So you stopped giving. You stopped fighting for someone who never showed up for you. And quietly, you walked away. At first, they felt free, unarmed, unbothered. But then the silence started to echo. Messages slowed. Their circle shrank. The people they trusted turn out like them, selfish, dismissive, transactional. Suddenly, their choices vanish. The support they took for granted is gone. The comfort of someone who truly cared, irreplaceable. No one can fill the space you held for them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't waste time arguing what a good person should be. Be one." Karma clears out what doesn't align with truth. When someone treats a good person poorly, they don't just betray you. They betray the version of themselves that once had peace, patience, forgiveness, depth. Karma doesn't punish with obvious pain. It punishes by showing them exactly what they chose to lose and forcing them to live without it. Every room feels colder. Every new relationship feels fragile. Every victory feels hollow because deep down, they know they once had something real, and they let it slip away. Let them lose it. Let them learn. Let them look around and realize nothing in this world is as safe or sacred as what they had with you. Karma doesn't just take material things, it takes the version of themselves that held your love. They'll never recreate that peace, no matter how hard they try. When someone speaks in circles but you're still the center of their story, karma's whispering in their mind. The third sign they're facing, silent consequences. You linger in their thoughts. They won't say your name outright, but listen closely. They post vague quotes on social media, hints about betrayal, loyalty, fake people, or healing from the past. They drop lines in stories like, "Some people will never see what they lost," or "Not everyone deserves my energy anymore." At first, you might think it's just talk, but you know their language. You recognize their patterns. You sense the guilt beneath their words. You've felt it before, scrolling through their feed. You spot a post like a veiled jab, wrapped in poetry. They don't tag you, but every line echoes your presence without saying it. That's not power. It's not healing. It's a conscience screaming through the cracks of a crumbling ego. Their friends might miss it. Others might not notice. But you do, because you loved them enough to know their silences. And now those silences scream back at them. Karma doesn't always punish with events. Sometimes it's an obsession, a loop of thoughts they can't control, regrets they can't swallow, memories they thought faded but can't escape. A Stoic doesn't seek revenge. They don't reply. They don't post cryptic jabs, because replying gives them power, while silence takes it back. Epictetus said, "If someone speaks ill of you, live." So no one believes it. So when they talk in circles or behind your back, don't explain. Don't defend. Let them carry your name in their silence, revealing their truth. You've moved on, but they haven't. Let them post their quotes, half-truths, and twisted tales. Let them shout to hide they're not healed. You don't need to step into their life to live in their mind. That's karma. And the mind is the loudest prison when the one you hurt won't look back. Because silence speaks volumes. When you betray someone good, you don't just lose them. You lose the ability to trust anyone who reminds you of them, even yourself. The fourth sign they're facing, silent karma. They stop trusting others and, slowly, themselves. At first, It looks like self-protection. They shrink their circle, close off their heart, guard their energy. They say things like, "I don't trust anyone anymore. Everyone's fake." But that's not strength. It's not boundaries. It's fear. Fear, born in the shadow of their own guilt. They used to be open, laughed freely, trusted easily, spoke without care. But after what they did to you or others, something shifted, not on the surface, but deep inside. Slowly, now they question every motive, expect betrayal before trust, scrutinize every word, act, silence, searching for signs someone might do to them what they did to you. Why? Because they know how much harm they're capable of. When you hurt someone who didn't deserve it, you start believing everyone can destroy like that. This is karma's private punishment, self-doubt. It doesn't isolate with force, but erodes from within. The voice that once said, "I've got this," now whispers, "Maybe I'm the problem." That thought terrifies because once you doubt yourself, peace becomes impossible, no matter how quiet the room. Seneca said wrongdoers rarely trust others because they know their own capacity. Stoics understand this deeply. They teach that your inner peace is tied to your conscience. If your actions betray your values, you don't just lose others, you lose yourself. That's karma. It's not always visible consequences. Sometimes it's an invisible crack in their inner world, a restlessness they can't explain, a tightness in their chest when things seem too perfect, a quiet voice saying, "They don't deserve it." Even when they have something real, let them sit in that silence. Let them question everyone's motives. Let them fear the shadows they cast on others. Because karma doesn't just haunt with memories, it steals peace through suspicion. And the harshest prison isn't behind bars, it's when your conscience becomes the guard. So if they can't trust anymore, don't blame them. Don't try to fix them. Don't return to prove not everyone's the same. That's not your role. You were never meant to redeem someone who chose destruction. You offered truth. They gave betrayal. Now karma delivers what they deserve. Not chaos, not drama, but the quiet collapse of their own self. Karma doesn't roar. It brings you back to yourself. The fifth and undeniable sign they're facing, silent karma life sends them a mirror. A person who reflects every wrong they did to someone who loved them. Not just a bad relationship, but a living echo of their past actions, delivered with poetic precision. It doesn't come loudly. It arrives softly, charming, magnetic, just like they won your trust. At first, it feels like fate. They think they've found the one. The connection feels deep, instant, electric. But they don't see. They're not falling for someone new. They're caught in karma's loop. This time, they're not in control. Remember how they made you feel uncertain, never good enough, despite your efforts. Now they chase texts that go unanswered, wait for calls that get ignored, post to be seen, only to get silence. They played games with you, hot and cold. Now they're with someone who burns them with silence, showers them with affection, then pulls back, calling them too sensitive. They mocked your vulnerabilities. Now their openness gets ridiculed. They had your loyalty and walked away. Now they beg for commitment from someone half in, half out. At first, they justify it. This person's troubled, complex, misunderstood. They say, but slowly, a chilling realization dawns. This is what I did to someone else. They won't admit it aloud, but it haunts them in quiet moments. Like the pause before sleep, it shows up in the silence after another failed connection. Their pain isn't random. Not just bad luck, it's a pattern. And that's karma's justice. Poetic and precise. Marcus Aurelius said the best revenge is to not be like those who hurt you. The universe doesn't seek revenge, it seeks balance. It restores equilibrium not by inflicting pain, but by letting them feel the hurt they caused through someone they can't control or predict. This isn't punishment, it's a shift in perspective. They laughed at your care. Now they ache for someone who doesn't bother. They dismissed your needs. Now they're called needy by someone stingy with affection. They walked away untouchable. Now they beg for someone to stay. Respond. Try. And then it hits them, not instantly, but in painful clarity. They're not just hurt. They're mirrored. The mirror never lies. Let them face someone who matches their past actions. Let them feel the confusion, the powerlessness, the sting of being seen, used, and left. But this time, there's no one to blame, no one to manipulate, no story to twist, because the person on the other side of this pain isn't a monster. It's them, in another form, with the same behaviors. It's not revenge. It's a reckoning. You're not being punished. They're shown their own reflection. You don't need to fight those already battling themselves. Karma doesn't need your help. It doesn't need your counterstrike, your proof, or your pleas for the world to see your worth. It asks one thing: your silence, your calm, your refusal to stoop to their level, while they're trapped in lies, pride, and schemes. You've stepped into something stronger: clarity. Karma isn't just what happens to them, it's what happens to you when you let go. You no longer need closure, because peace becomes your closure. You don't need justice, because time will testify for you. You don't need them to feel your pain, because life knows how to teach its lessons. Your task isn't to punish, it's to rise. Rise so steady, so grounded, so strong from within that no one can shake your peace, not even the shadow of those who hurt you. That's the Stoic path. We don't curse our enemies. We don't chase validation. We walk forward, quietly, with discipline, karma respects. If someone hurt you, never apologized, acted blameless, and left like you didn't matter, let them go. They may seem free, but they're haunted by one thing: they can't silence the truth. Liars sleep soundly when they deceive others, but not when they deceive themselves. If this resonates, don't waste energy chasing the past. Share in the comments which line hit home. Let others know they're not alone. If you're walking this path of quiet strength, join Think Stoic 101. We don't just talk healing, we train minds to lead, not react. We build clarity, discipline, unshakable peace. Let karma do its work. You keep becoming someone they can never reach again. That's not revenge, it's evolution. The world watches silently, because such growth makes a sound without a single noise.